Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly, and this channel is all about teaching you how to create print-on-demand designs that sell. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about broad Q1 niches for 2025. And if you stay tuned to the end of the video, I've got a bonus 5 niches that are selling right now that you can be working on. So as we mentioned in the intro, this video is going to be all about Q1 niches for 2025, and I'm going to be going over a list of broad niches with you guys for the first 3 months of 2025 to give you an idea of what you guys should be designing for. So first, I just wanted to go over really quickly the difference between broad niches, cross niches, and very specific niches. So the list that I'm going to be giving you for 2025 is going to be broad niches. And then what you'll do is you'll take those broad niches and you'll cross niche. When we cross niche, what we're doing is taking 2 niches and kind of combining them together to create a more specific niche. And then from there, we can develop a saying or a very, very targeted niche. So it's easier if I put this into an example. So as you can see, a broad niche might be something like Christmas, right? If I was to cross niche, I could add Christmas and wine together. That would be cross niching Christmas and wine. And then the very specific niche might be something like I'm dreaming of a white wine Christmas. And so that is an example of combining the Christmas niche with the wine lovers niche to get something very specific. So I'm going to be giving you some broad niches, and then what you guys can do is do some research, go on Amazon and look for very specific examples. For every broad niche, there are hundreds, thousands even of ways that you can cross niche and come up with cool original designs. So this is a short list for January here. There's not nearly as many things going on as January as there are in, let's say, March. And so you'll see the difference in terms of the list sizes. But for January, obviously, the very beginning would be a New Year's Day. So you can always make some cool New Year's designs. The next biggest one is actually 100 days of school. Now, that is a really big niche every year. If you're not familiar with it because you don't have small children, essentially what it is after 100 days of school, the kids will either wear shirts that say something about surviving 100 days of school, or they'll dress up like a 100-year-old. And so different school districts will do this. It is, again, a very, very big popular niche each year. And I'm going to show you a few examples here on Amazon. And so if you just did a quick search on Amazon for 100 days of school shirts, you would get a page that looks like this. And what you can see is that there are a lot of very specific niches within this much broader niche. So for example, I crushed 100 days of school, and you've got your monster truck. You've got happy 100th day of school. 100 days later, 100 days of school with a dinosaur. And so these are ones that are more targeted towards students. Now there's also a whole nother group that would be targeted towards teachers. And so you can find teacher ones. I'm sure they'll be on here too. If you keep scrolling down, there are just a bunch. Level 100 days of school unlocked, 100 days smarter, bruh, it's my 100th day of school. And so there are a ton of these. 100 days sprinkled with fun. And so you can see all of these examples of very specific niches within the more broad niche of 100 days of school. So for all of the niches that I'm going to give you for 2025, you can just go onto Amazon, literally type in whatever that niche is and shirt, and it will show you a whole bunch of different very specific niches, shirts that are selling now to give you some ideas of what you can be designing for. Back to January, we've got Martin Luther King Day, and that is January 20th. And then sort of my next 3 examples here can kind of all be grouped together. When we think about the beginning of the year, it is a great time to put up designs for that year. Sale. And so, for example, I've got retired 2025. People are retiring all of the time, every day of the year. People are retiring. But you'll see a lot of retirement shirts that'll give you the year that they retired. And so retired 2025, you want to put that up in January. That way it is available all year long. Same thing with divorced 2025. And yes, those do sell. Also things like dad, grandma, grandpa, mom, uncle, whatever, established 2025. You can even do things like doctor established 2025 or nurse established 2025. So anything that you're going to do that's going to have the year on it, you want to go ahead and get that up in January. That way it's got all year to sell. And so I'm going to do all of those designs and have them up right away for January. And so you can think of that. There's a whole bunch you can do. Next thing, January, it's winter. Winter sports become big once people have kind of moved off of Christmas and they're into more of just that winter vibes. You can do designs for things like snowboarding, skiing, ice skating, whatever you can think of that's going to be more winter sports oriented. And then lastly, January 29th, 2025. So this year, Chinese New Year is going to be the year of the snake. And I put the date there because it does change year to year. And sometimes it will be in January and sometimes it will be in February. And so I want you to know that for 2025, it is January 29th and it is the year of the snake. All right, so on to February, and I've got a good list here. Obviously, February, people think of Valentine's Day, and there's all sorts of fun Valentine's Day shirts you can do. And don't just think about lovey-dovey couples shirts. You can also think about anti-Valentine's Day shirts, which are the singles shirts, because those will also sell really well around Valentine's Day, just sort of that anti-Valentine's Day shirt. February is also Black History Month, which is another huge seller every year. You will find tons of designs for Black History Month. It's worth doing some research and coming up with some obviously different sub-niches for that. But it's another huge one that if you haven't gotten into, you should really consider getting into. February is also Heart Disease Awareness Month or Heart Health Month. The color for that, or the ribbon color for that, would be red. And so you can do some red ribbon style shirts for heart health. We also have President's Day coming up. That is February 17th this year. So if you want to make some funny President's Day style designs, you can. Obviously, be careful if you're going to do anything that's a little bit more recent, but there's lots of really funny ones. The Drinkin' Like Lincoln, for example, is a funny one. And you can find all different ways to sort of cross niche those to make them fun. Remember, funny sells, so the funnier the better. We also have Groundhog's Day. That's February 2nd. So if you want to make some cute Groundhog's Day shirts, that's awesome. World Cancer Day is also February 4th. So if you want to make some more cause-related or support style shirts for World Cancer Day, you can do that. And then lastly, the big one this February is going to be the Super Bowl. And this year, the Super Bowl is on February 9th. Be very careful with this. Obviously, you can't do anything specific to the teams or use the word Super Bowl, but you can make lots of fun football style designs. And of course, there's always the really common niches. I just hope both teams have fun, for example, or any of the tailgating style shirts. So you can be very creative with that. But those are the general niches that you're going to want to cover in February. And lastly, for the first quarter, we've got March. And now you'll see there's a lot more things happening in March compared to the other 2 months. So March is a big one. First of all, we've got Pi Day. So Pi Day is March 14th. If you're not familiar with that, just think of it as a holiday for math nerds because the number pi is 3.14 and then it goes on forever. So they've decided that March 14th is officially Pi Day and you can make some funny math pie shirts. If you need ideas, again, you can look up on Amazon and just literally type in Pi Day shirt and you will get tons of good examples. We've got Mardi Gras coming up this year. It is going to be March 4th, and so lots of fun Mardi Gras style designs that you can do. Again, tons of funny ones, lots of just that cool New Orleans style design, so think about that. Every March 8th is International Women's Day, and so you can make some awesome Women's Day designs there. We also have St. Patrick's Day. So when people think about March, St. Patrick's Day is probably one of the first things that comes to their mind. That is another huge, huge, huge niche with thousands of sub-niches there that you can go with. Obviously, you're going to want the greens and the shamrocks, the beer, all of that stuff. This is one of the holidays where I will specifically make shirts that are green. So normally when I'm designing shirts, I'm designing for like the blacks or the dark heather because those tend to sell the most. But on specific holidays, you may want to optimize your design for a specific color of shirt. So for St. Patrick's Day, that's one where you might want to optimize your design to go on a green shirt, for example. And so you can consider that when you're designing. And of course, we'll have plenty of design videos coming up about all of these niches. Let's see, we've also got Cerebral Palsy Month. So it's Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month. The ribbon color for that is green. So if you want to make some great awareness shirts for that, you can. And there's, again, a bunch of cool Cerebral Palsy warrior style shirts that you can do. We also have Down Syndrome Day. Now, do not confuse Down Syndrome Day with Down Syndrome Month. They are actually totally different, but Down Syndrome Day is 3/21. And that is because there are 3 of the 21st chromosome in people with Down syndrome. And so that is how they came up with that day. We also have Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month. This is another huge awareness month that you will see lots of sales and lots of designs for. The ribbon color for that is orange. And so again, you can do tons of those. There's actually quite a few awareness style things going on in March. We also have Traumatic Brain Injury Awareness Month, and the ribbon color for that is going to be green. Next, I have basketball, March Madness. Now, obviously, again, you can't use anything specific to teams, and you can't use anything that says March Madness, but you can do tons of generic basketball style designs, fan designs. Again, you can go back to the I just hope both teams have fun kind of thing. Lots of fun ones that you can think of for March Madness. We also have Dr. Seuss's birthday, and that is March 2nd. Now, that, again, you can't use Dr. Seuss or any of his characters, but you can do some cool rhyming style designs and a lot of reading style designs. So things that would get people to read. It's another big one with the elementary schools. So you might have teachers wearing shirts about reading and whatnot during early March. We also have the beginning of spring, and so believe it or not, spring starts March 20th, and so we can start making all those spring flower style designs. And along with spring, we've got spring break, and so spring break, there's tons of fun spring break style designs. Of course, if you start aiming them towards the college students, we can do all sorts of cross-niching with different alcohols and beaches and anything you think might be fun for spring break. Oh, and then lastly, I've got Epilepsy's Purple Day. That is March 26th. And again, I know it gets confusing, but Purple Day is separate from Epilepsy Awareness Month. So there is a month and there is a day, and they're not always the same. So we have plenty of those just to confuse you. But again, if you want to make any of those cause-driven awareness style designs, those always sell great. And so that is the end of the niches for the first quarter of 2025. And as promised, I do have a bonus for you. So because you were patient and waited around until the end of the video, I do have a bonus 5 niches that are selling right now that you can start designing for and putting up right now. I am going to start adding this segment onto most of my videos, assuming you guys like it and find it useful. And so without any more waiting, these are 5 Christmas niches that are selling right now. So these are the very specific sub-niches. I've got most likely to ask Santa to define good, in my Christmas era, I love a man with a beard, and of course that would be Santa Claus, look at me being all festive and shit, and stop staring at my balls, and that would like have some ornaments, so the round ornaments. And so very funny design styles that you can get as creative as you want with and start designing for those now. I will have another 5 niches for you at the end of the next video as well. So thank you for staying tuned until the end, and I hope this was helpful for you guys. That's it for today's video. If you found that useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe. and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.